Ginger and the dude, and you have to decide who you are now. And we're back. Okay. Well, we're not quite live to Facebook yet. So for those of you who are logging in, and now we're live. Okay. We should be streaming live. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of AI Clubhouse. It is Wednesday, so that means we're talking about AI, at least for the next 30 minutes, if not longer. So for those of you joining us for the first time, my name's Ginger Bell. We have Scott Shang, and hello, Scott. Steve Richmond is in Atlanta today speaking. He's been speaking and traveling a lot, which is good. I like seeing that. And
he's everywhere. He needs to slow down. Park it once in a while, dude.
Make him come to you.
Yeah, I know, right? No kidding.
Glasses are terrible.
So we invited Frank Garay to come back again.
Because why not?
Because why not? Because we love the conversation. It's fun. Well, you used to be a regular here. I mean, you used to be on here every single week with us, and then he got popular.
Whatever.
With us.
Got very busy. Well, you know.
So, hey, you know what? Last week we were talking about MoveTube.
Yeah.
And I do want to hop into that because when we were in the green room, you were sharing something brand new that's riveting and groundbreaking. But before we get into that, I do want to briefly hop onto a couple of things that have happened this week in the world of AI. And in case you haven't seen it yet, OpenAI released their chat to video, and it's called Sora, S-O-R-A. So if you go to openai.com/Sora, you can see the videos that they have created from just a prompt. And I made a quick little video. I dropped it into the chat. So if you head over to the AI Clubhouse Facebook, you can see it there. I'm going to make a longer video that kind of goes through it for next week. But let's talk about Sora. So
what does it stand for? I've never heard of this. So this is all new to me.
Well, it's brand new. It honestly just released, I think, like 5 days ago.
Oh, good.
And
okay.
So here's the thing that's interesting, because I've been hopping on kind of, watching what other people are saying about it. So Sora was made possible because of some technology that Google did as part of, Transcriber. And Transcriber, is what actually makes all of these AI chatbots work. Or Transformer, not Transcriber, Transformer. And so apparently there was something in that Google found as far as making video. And I don't understand how all of it works. Scott, you may have a better understanding for it than I do. But OpenAI said, oh, we like that. We're going to run with it. And so they did. So these videos, Frank, I mean, some of them absolutely amazing. There's prompts in there. They have a guy sitting on a cloud reading a book. And it was just generated from one simple prompt. You can see the hair on his arms. You can see.
And so it's not it's a AI generated image.
Is a video. Yeah.
That is converted into also now a video.
It's moving. Yep. There's a lot of drone footage. So they have an example up there that it's a drone going through an old Western town. One of the prompts, and it's what's their feature prompt, was to make a video of paper airplanes flying over a set of trees. So in the air, they're flying over this huge grove of trees. And it's amazing. One of the ones that I loved, the prompt was to create a cat laying in bed trying to wake up its
kittens.
No, it's
master,
if you will. I don't know what else to call it. And so there's this orange tabby cat laying in bed. and waking up this girl, and the girl, like, she squints and you can see the lines right here in her frown. The only thing that's weird is that the cat does end up, and I'm sure you've seen it, Scott, it has an extra paw. So
Has
it's
an
like,
extra pie,
as
yeah.
it's like its paw is going for her face, there's now a little bit of a glimpse of another paw underneath it. And so it's not perfect. There's a chair that ends up kind of floating instead of the people picking it up. And then, so I mean, go over there, check it out. It's absolutely amazing. And Scott, you were just saying in the green room something that's going on. They're putting, because there's no sound to it, so there's no voiceover. It's just under a minute. So the video's under a minute. There's no sound, but it's just the beginning. So what did you see, Scott?
Yeah, and it's not widely available yet. So I think people with API access can maybe do something with it, but it's not available on the website. But there's a company out there that's kind of leading the charge in voice mimicking. It's called 11 Labs.
Yeah.
And they're like, you give it 30 seconds of your voice and it'll mimic your voice
Yeah.
and talk in your voice. So what they did is they took those Sora videos, they put it into 11 Labs, and it created all the Foley. Like, it created the birds, the wind blowing, the cars driving, when people were walking, the one with the lady walking down the street, like
In
in
Japan.
in
Yeah.
Japan, like her shoes clicking on the pavement and stepping into puddles, and it created the entire soundtrack for those 60-second videos from the ethers, just like from scratch. It recognized what it was, it identified what it should sound like, and then it overlaid it. Unbelievable. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
Really cool.
This is insane, and where it's going is insane. Kevin was he's on the MoveTube side, Kevin loves this stuff and he's into it big time. Of course, he's trying to just plug it all into MoveTube some way, somehow, everything, right?
Right.
And so he's got, like we were talking about the voice mimicking. So now the new rollout MoveTube there is one coming shortly this week, probably, where either as the loan officer or the agent, if you to produce the movie trailer videos, you could say use my voice. And there's a way, like you said, Scott, you got to upload you read a script. It has to be with a good microphone. You read a script, it analyzes that, and now it's be your voice on these things. But another thing that he found that was cool was is AI can analyze photos really, really well, right? So property search, you could say you're going to be able to start doing property searches where you can get very, very specific. You could say, I only want to see homes that have kitchens with white cabinetry, right? And it'll be able to go through, and it has to be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It has to be in this neighborhood, and it can only have white cabinets and whatever. And it'll be able to go through and just super fast return to you only properties with white cabinets. And then he was experimenting with it. He had some system. I don't know what it is. Well, I have to get him on one of these. We have to get him because he's all up into this too. But he was like, he put a picture up in it, and he told it to analyze the picture and tell me what's in this picture. And that goddamn thing picked out every little thing about that picture, to where Kevin was like, I didn't even notice these things. Like,
Wow.
I didn't even notice that there was a family photo on the mantle of the fireplace that appears to be, a father and a daughter. Like, it's the
Wow.
small little that you would never even notice it. AI saw it and saw what was in it,
Yeah.
And so it's just, I mean, what do you guys think about this? Even
it's
this video
moving
thing,
so
how does this,
fast.
what do you think
Yeah.
about this with mortgage and all? It's just such an interesting conversation. It really
Well,
is.
I mean, when you think about, I mean, we've been preaching for so long, do videos, do videos, do videos.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that is still important, because I almost think with all of this, what we're doing with podcasts and with videos becomes more important, because it is making that connection. But what I think it does do is those Monday things, like that I used to have to do, all the courses around mortgage products and compliance. And it was like doing the audio and all that. That's where I see the biggest change, because it's going to take those kind of repetitive things that you don't necessarily need a person that anybody knows to do something like that and to be able to do that. And we've been playing around with that. I have a ChatGPT course that I used a lot of AI to help generate the course because, it's a 10.5 hour course and I didn't have, the time to do it. And so I used a lot of AI in doing that. The challenges, and this is where I'm at. I had a call with a company yesterday. I'm helping them to put together an AI task force because they don't even know. It's like, what do we do?
Where do you start?
Yeah, where
Yeah,
do you
because
start with this?
it's moving so fast too.
Yeah.
So like, even if you say start here today, like in 2 weeks, it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So anyway, keep going. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, but I mean, that's it. It's like, it's almost that to the point where it's numbing, where it's like, I don't even know. So I think that's the first thing is, okay, this is really cool. It's a cool little toy. Can you use it? No, it's not available. It's available to their red team or something like that. I don't even know what that is. Scott, you may be a part of that. I don't know. You're like,
Yeah.
not yet.
Yeah.
But and then probably some different companies that are using it. I don't know when it's going to be available to anyone. I mean, chat does this and they'll release something and then the next week it's available. So, the thing that I see, and this is it going to change what's happening like animation? I see it changing that because if you go and you look at some of those animated videos that they made, it's crazy. I mean, crazy what they can do. So I think the animation world will definitely see an impact. The other thing is drone footage. So I think, and so apparently, and there's nothing that I can find that really solidifies what I've heard, but I've heard OpenAI did a thing with Shutterstock. And so they have access to, royalty free
8 bazillion photos and videos or whatever.
and videos and things like that. And so
Yeah.
that's where a lot of this comes into play. So, how it has an effect on the average person like us, I can tell you we do video production, B-roll, awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, we can get into, show, it's like, I have a client that does a lot of work with foreign nationals. So it's like, okay, you know how long it takes to find stock footage that is acceptable? It's like now with hopefully a prompt, we'll be able to get exactly what we want.
Yeah.
Or, MoveTube, it's like getting those, if somebody's making a video, you're still going to have those actual, especially the interior photos, because it doesn't have that, right?
Mhm.
So that part of it, it's not going to. But if you're going to do a stock video about maybe a neighborhood or something like that, it can do that. I did a video the other day on a platform that's called InVideo, and I was doing some
I've seen that.
tutorials on
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and so I put just a prompt to make a video about why someone would want to move to Portland, Oregon. And it pulled stock footage of the Portland sign. And Frank, you've been here. And so, it's like it had the bridges. I mean, it had stock footage from Portland that was really good. And again, for me to go and to find that in order to make the video and do the script and do the voiceover and do the music could take an entire day for someone to do that, to make one video. It honestly was done in probably 15 minutes and done well with voiceover.
I see where this can go too. Really, probably you could do it right now, but is and in fact, Scott, you probably know, but like I know right now you could use AI, like you put a picture of yourself, give it a picture of yourself, and you could give it a script, and it'll animate, like it'll look like you're speaking the script, right? It'll make a video like it's you talking, and then you get your voice cloned in there, right? So now it's got my actual voice. It's my image. It looks just like me. It's only going to get better. It'll look just like me talking on this right now, right? With my mannerisms and everything. Even my voice inflections, because I've noticed when we've done the cloning of our voices in MoveTube, when you read something, if you use your natural and voice inflections or whatever, it picks up on that too, and it kind of replicates that. So it'll sound a lot like you. But also, Now we could tell AI, hey, give me 6 videos on the loan process scripts for 6 videos of the loan process. AI writes it all out. You correct it, fix it just how you want it. Okay, now feed this in and make me 6 independent videos of me, with my call to action being this, that, or whatever. And now for people that are afraid to make video or are apprehensive of making videos, suddenly now they can make killer videos, right?
Yeah.
That are perfect. No ums and ahs, no stutterings. No, do it again, do it again, do it again. No, it's just like, here it is. That's exactly what I want to say. Give me the finished product. Look, beautiful. Upload it, gone, and it's done. I can see that happening. Like, it's probably happening right now. I wouldn't know. Scott, you would know better. You're more into this than me, more on top of this stuff than I am. But what do you think about that? Because I think that's realistic. I think that's well within the realm of reality extremely quickly if it's not here already.
Yeah. And part of it is here. And Scott, you may have a platform. I know there's a couple of different platforms that you can definitely record yourself. Like you can record yourself saying, hi, and then name. Thanks for calling. Part of the step in the loan process is to take an application. The next thing we need to do is set up an appointment, click on the link below and schedule a time with me. And then you can upload that into the system. And then all you do is just put their name in there and it dubs over. So it says, when I send that video to Scott, it's like,
hey, Bob.
Yeah. Hey, Scott, thanks for calling. Hey, Frank. And so, that's all of those things. It's going to make a lot of those repetitive things that we have to do a lot easier to be able to do that. And you look at, Chris Johnstone, you guys are killing it with what he's doing in the CRM. I've been playing around, and Scott, this is definitely in your wheelhouse in using ClickFunnels. And you can set it up in ClickFunnels for a lead gen. And so in that, you can have them answer a series of questions. Have you ever owned a home before? Are you a veteran? How much? Some of those qualifying questions. And then what you do is you Zapier and you put it into ChatGPT and you set up the chat under your GPT to have different scenarios that it will respond back based on the questions that come in. And then you can send them an analysis that chat will generate that says, based on the information you've given me, this is what you should plan. Like if you're a first-time home buyer and you have this much income, then, this is how much you need to save for a down payment. It will all automatically do it. And it's just crazy. And then you can set up this app to where it goes to your email and it goes to a list. All these different things. It blows my mind. And Scott, that's, you're working on those kind of things.
Yeah, I still have a lot of reservations about trying to automate too many things with the AI.
Yeah.
I think everybody goes there. They want to automate, but automation by definition is disengagement. So you need to determine whether you really need to disengage from that process. Maybe lead capture is something that you could do, but especially in this market, you want to get that person on the phone as soon as you can. Don't let AI help them decide whether or not they want to talk to you or not. So those are some of the cautious things, but I still think that there is a level of creativity that is required to create content, period, that if you don't bring that creativity to AI, you're not going to be able to create good content. It's not going to make you something you're not already. It's not going to grow your business in ways that you're not already trying to grow your business, but it's absolutely going to augment a lot of your efforts. And like you said, the mundane tasks, right now, we kind of have to push the button to make the AI work, right? Pretty soon we won't have to. If this happens, then these 5 things will happen automatically. Yeah. But we're not quite there yet. But it's a lot of the big developers are working on it. They're called agents. And agents are basically, all these little GPTs that we build, Ginger, to help people. This one will help you write video scripts. This one will help you write blog posts. Well, you can get all those to talk to each other. and collaborate and cooperate. And one of them will assign themselves a project manager and make sure everything gets done properly. And then we'll just get the final result. We're
Yeah.
super close. We're super close. We're
Yeah.
really close. You're
Well,
gonna.
it's understanding it, like you say.
Awesome.
So we
Such a
started
trip.
doing that because, we do video production, podcast production. And so we have started doing that for all of our clients, where we have a project manager. And that project manager then communicates based on the content. So you can have a VA. I like the word agent because they call it GPTs, and it's like that gets so confusing. So, then the project manager can communicate with the VA agent, the FHA agent, the, first-time homebuyer agent, and instruct to do all of the different things that they need to do, to the point that you can honestly have one prompt in there that sets it up, and then it will create your entire weekly marketing plan. And I haven't tried this yet, but I've talked to people that you can take it a step further and you can have it actually post onto social media. So have you played around with that, Scott? Yeah.
No, I haven't. I mean, I assume that it's going through some sort of a Hootsuite or some sort of third-party posting.
Yeah, we use Sendable for our
program.
clients. So that's what it's, and then you can usually, if you have a Zap, then through
Yeah.
Zapier or through Move, then that's all you need is the API.
Yeah.
So let's talk about voice, though, because Frank, one of the things you were talking about last week was MoveTube, and you know how much I love that. I think it's spectacular. You were way ahead of your time, and thank God you did, because now look where you are. But just
I'm here in the AI Clubhouse.
Yeah, and guys, this is not really us. These are our clones.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Is it really? I don't know.
Frank is not in the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
brings a whole new light to retirement, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to work forever.
Okay. So MoveTube. So if you're joining us for the first time, tell us what MoveTube is and what it does.
Well, what MoveTube is an extremely useful tool for a real estate agent, primarily a career agent, agents that have business, agents that have been in business for a while, who both get listings and work with buyers, right? So agents that are no stranger to listings, they carry them. And what it does is it allows them on a competitive listing appointment where they might be talking to a seller who's going to be talking to more than one agent, 2 or 3 agents. It allows them to be a little different in that they get to stand out and hand them a very cool marketing flyer that says, hey, if you list with me, I'm going to get your home on TV. And it explains about MoveTube, which is a streaming. MoveTube is on Roku, Amazon, Apple, Google. Oh, we're this close to launching on Samsung and LG, by the way. We're in preview. So it's a really cool property search channel. It's been around for 8 years. It has a huge audience, adds about 2,000 new people every week across all the platforms. It's really, really neat. But it just gives an agent that edge, on a listing presentation to win the listing. The way that they get it, though, is they have to have an advertising sponsor. And right now, loan officers are primarily those advertising sponsors. So a loan officer can pay $197 a month. They get a 50 agent capacity, and they can allow agents to, they get the privilege to advertise themselves onto agents' listings, is really how this is set up. For that money, they're getting to advertise on agents' listings, on the channel, on the website, on other marketing materials. But what it does for a loan officer, though, is gives them the opportunity at that point to start a relationship with a career agent, right? An agent that's got business, not a newbie or anything like that, but, career agents. And so that's what it is. There's actually a demo today at 3 p.m. Eastern time, if anybody wants to check it out. But with respect to AI and MoveTube and that kind of a thing, Kevin is all in it. There's a handful of things inside the product that make use of AI. It creates videos for the listings with a voiceover narration of it, all AI driven. Like we said, soon you can have it be your voice or the agent's voice on those narrations. It does captions. So if I'm going to share a listing to social media, it'll create the verbiage, the post. What is it? You type something in the post with the picture. What do you ever call that? The post caption, right?
Yeah.
The post caption that you put in social media. So
Yep.
it'll create that for you. Just click a button. It's very, click, you're done kind of a thing. And, but one of the most intriguing things that I'm looking forward to, again, Scott, we haven't gotten together, but I want to, is, I really want AI to, because where I see AI being very helpful to us is, and like Scott, you brought it up, is, okay, lead gen or cultivating leads, at least getting a lead to where it looks like, okay, I need to start engaging with this person now, and the AI, we have the open house flyers that have a QR code on them. People scan it.
Mhm.
And then now we capture their text, their phone, and they have to put their name in, and we get their name and their phone number. So now we can text them, right? And I would love AI. Right now, I'm having it zap into the Connect CRM, Chris Johnstone CRM, having it zap in through MoveTube into that, and we're getting AI to work in there. So AI will be reaching out to those open house visitors. How do you enjoy the open house at 127 Main Street that was hosted by Sally, the realtor, or whatever, and then try to get the people to where they say, raise their hand basically and say, yeah, it'd be good to get a phone call. So then you can say, okay, this person wants my phone call, so have it do that heavy lifting, because, with the MoveTube product, you could have 10 agents doing open houses over a weekend, all of them using that flyer. You could get 60, 70 open house leads a weekend, no problem. And then how do you follow up on all that effectively? Right. So
And
it'd be
that's the
really
system
nice.
part. Yeah.
It'd be really nice if AI was engaged in that process of follow up. Of course, there's CRMs like the Chris Johnstone CRM, that's there. But it would be also cool if it was just in MoveTube itself, right? So if MoveTube was and this is where we are going with it. So you'd be able to do either or. You can zap it into your CRM, or MoveTube has its own component that will start to reach out and engage with these visitors to see if there's any other interest, and then hand that, alert the real estate agent or alert the loan officer. This person is wanting to hear from you. That's ideally where we want to go with it. So,
well, it'd be cool with that, Frank, to have just what we were talking about on the video, to where the LO and the real estate agent could have a video that then comes up.
God, that'd be
So
sick.
they're getting that connection. I mean, that's what I'm thinking, because the technology's there. So if you add that in there, to where all the LO has to do is to record that video one time, and all it does is just pull that name. So as soon as that text comes in with that name, that video automatically gets sent to their phone that just says, hey, Ginger, I'm Ginger. Thanks for, stopping by. Frank, it looks like you're looking at blah, blah, blah property. And the property, because you have all that information, right?
You got it all. You got the sales price. You got everything. You can say, who knows? It's like it's limitless. It's really limitless. And so,
and then they get that video from you,
right,
making that connection. So, and that's where AI, it is it's the mundane tasks, but it's those things that are important to be able to touch them right when it happens. And chatbot started to do that, but people hate chatbots. And I know I had a chatbot that I had put on one of my websites, and I was in there the last week working on some things. I have 2 sites in Kajabi, and it was so slow. And I'm like, why is it so slow? And it's like, oh, I put the code in for the chatbot, and that's what's slowing it down, because it thinks it's quote unquote malware. And so, as soon as I took it off, it sped back up again. So, the chat bot was a quick kind of a thing, that disengagement, Scott, what you're talking about. But where this is going, Frank, is engagement, to where even if they just recorded themselves doing the video and it's really them, and it inserted those overlay voices, that would be huge right there for you. So I'll find out the technology for you, because I'm sure that there's a zap for that, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I really, I've set up some GPTs, right? A handful. And I set up one for my son has a brokerage in town, and I'm making my move over to his brokerage. And so I started putting it a GPT, because I thought I was wrong, but I thought you could create a GPT and then use that link and remember, Scott, we had this conversation where then I get a chat bot, but it's connected to the GPT that I created, that knows everything about the company, knows everything, which is how it should be, if I'm going to be honest, because that's stupid that it's not that way. With as smart as everything is, it's like, I should be able to put that link in there. And then the chatbot goes, okay, I talked to this. This is my link for engagement with these people.
Right.
So easy. In my opinion, that should be brainlessly easy. But at any rate, I think that, chatbots, if they have that type, if they had that, like if somebody was talking to the thing I created, that the chat GPT that I created for my kids' brokerage, if they were talking to that thing on a chatbot, it's like badass. Like it knows who works there, how to get a hold of them. You want them to schedule an appointment, it can do that. It can give you the link. It can, it's just, it knows you want to ask it technical questions about loan products, all that stuff. It knows how to answer those questions. It's remarkable, because I tested it like crazy. I go, God, this thing is great, So I think chatbots could be phenomenal if
Done correctly.
if done correctly. Yeah, just incredible.
Yeah.
I tell you what, this is scary. I know we're done, but this is so funny. Kevin called me the other day. He goes, listen, man, you're going to get a phone call from Minnesota. Just pick it up and pretend you're a realtor. I go, okay. And so phone rings, it's Minnesota. I pick it up. I go, hi, it's Frank. And on the other line, on that line, it says, oh, hey, Frank, this is Kevin with MoveTube. How you doing today? I said,
that's what he got with the voiceover to do that.
I got pretty good. And the thing came back, said, that's terrific. Hey, just calling to see have you heard of MoveTube yet? I'm like, no, what's that? And then it went on to start telling me what MoveTube is and how it could benefit me in my business, and started asking me about my business. It was all AI. It wasn't Kevin's voice. He just used the name Kevin.
Yeah.
Right. But it was just this AI conversation I'm having with this thing on the phone, Now, where it failed, though, was when I would answer, it would take like a couple seconds for it to respond.
Yeah.
And so, it's thinking on how am I going to answer this, And so that's where I was like, okay, this isn't going to work. Like I said, but I gave it its due just to see how it would respond, because I was wildly curious about it. And the responses were just incredible.
Yeah.
Like that thing probably could have closed me if I would have had the patience to wait for the pauses in between, when I answered. But it was like real. It was very realistic. Like
That's
I
awesome.
wouldn't have known if there was no pauses. I probably wouldn't have known.
That's crazy. Okay, so we get a couple people that are asking how to get on the demo this afternoon. So where let's do that.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat. I'll do it right now.
And for those of you that are listening that are not on our chat, because we have people on our Facebook group. So what is that?
Well, if you just go to studio.movetube.com.
Okay.
And in the up nav, the nav button's at the top. There's one that says demo. You click that, and you can register for the demo.
And you have those weekly, so every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. Yep, every Wednesday.
3 p.m.
At 3 Eastern. Yeah,
okay.
3 Eastern.
So
yeah,
studio.movetube.com.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. And so, yeah, I tell you what, 30 minutes goes by fast.
It does. Well, this topic is so interesting, and I love the fact that we can just get on here and just shoot the breeze about it and just understand it. And it's not always like, you were gracious enough to talk about MoveTube, but these conversations don't have to be about anything in particular. They can just be about what the hell is going on with this AI, and how do we start looking at it? And there's going to be all kinds of products that we can tap into and start making use of. But I think the real question is, Scott, for you next time, is what happens when we tie this into quantum computing? Where do we go from there?
I have ideas.
That's what I love about Scott. Scott always has ideas.
I love the philosophy side of this. I spend a lot of brain space in the philosophical part of what all of this stuff means.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, right now, this whole AI thing, there is no destination. It's just journey. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we can all be here in the same car, journeying down the same road, having conversations about this, because anything we talk about today, next week is probably going to be either obsolete or they come up with a solution for it.
Yeah.
So that's what's so scary about it. It's just like, it's so fast moving.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. And no one's an expert on it. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, there's so many different venues and paths you can go, and technology that's coming out there that absolutely no one can be an expert, because it's going to change.
Mm-hmm.
You can only be an expert observer.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
fact, and I love the fact that it is a journey. And you know what? This will never happen again. I mean, we've witnessed a lot in our lifetime. I
Yeah.
mean, I grew up, I'm going to date myself, but Frank, you and I are the same age. And so we had a black and white TV.
Oh yeah.
That's what we
Yeah.
had. And so everything we've seen in our lifetime, and now to have this, it's like
Crazy.
crazy,
Well, I
crazy.
remember we were around and doing business when the internet came around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, because at one point it wasn't there.
Yeah.
It just
No,
there was
we had
no
to
internet.
Go to the office.
Then
And
suddenly,
pick up the phone.
exactly. Then suddenly it was there, and that just,
and all
changed the
those
world.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So think about, the things that you're learning, the things. So pay attention. It will have an impact on your business. I don't know where, but there are possibilities right now as far as how you can add it to your business. ChatGPT is big. Obviously, Google's changed their bar to Gemini 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. I don't know what they're calling it now. And I think maybe that's what we'll talk about next week, because I know
Yeah, because I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so Scott, you have spent a lot more time in there than I have.
The new Gemini is pretty good.
Yeah, so I
Let's
need
talk
to
about
hop in
that
there.
next time. I'm coming
Okay.
back next week.
Okay, Frank's
Okay.
back next week.
Bring me in.
We'll see
I got to
next
take a
week.
call. Kevin's calling me. I got to go.
Oh,
All
is
right,
it really
I gotta
him
go
or is
too.
it a chat bot?
Good question.
Okay, we'll see you guys.
Hey, see you
next
guys
week.
later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.